Hey everybody, it's Andy, aka Max Writer. I am here on the Appalachian State University server again. It's been a while since I've been on this server, and that's mainly because of lack of materials here. However, it is time for us to do a couple of things. One is going to be to build a church up here on Mob Hill, and possibly a graveyard. I think, isn't there a sign? Or is that Mob Hill over there? Let's take a quick look. I've been trying to gather materials and figure out. It's such a weird thing down there. Anyway, I don't see the sign. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Anyway, so we need to build a church today. I was also going to talk to y'all about, let's see, the Crawford Inheritance, which was the next scenario that I ran for my Call of Cthulhu group in Ohio. Yeah, I'm not seeing a sign for Mob Hill anywhere around here. Must be mixed up. But first I need to clear out, I think, all of the trees on the hill. At least the ones here in the middle. And so I will be right back once I get this cleared. I also want to go ahead and lay down the foundation for the building. So I will do that, and then I'll get back and I will talk to you all about the Crawford Inheritance. I'm pretty certain I named this Mob Hill at one point, but the sign is gone and I can't find it even on the overviewer. So I must have removed it, or it was on a tree that got chopped down or something. I'm not sure what happened exactly, but it's gone now. No big. And we've got our foundation laid here. It's pretty typical size for a church. I think we're gonna go for a dark interior. I don't have any dark wood. Okay, well I guess we'll go for oak. But let's get some walls up first. Now, did I turn the timer on? Oh my goodness, I did not. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about, besides eating this lovely watermelon because it's cheap, easy, and free, is we'll still make this tower kind of like we usually do. Anyway, the Crawford Inheritance included, let's see. This one included Professor Beauregard Johansen. He was actually the link, or the hook. Chip Mathers, what was he called? What was he? He was a bounty hunter. Excuse me, cow. You're gonna have to go. We're gonna leave the edges on this one, I think, just to look a little different. So we're gonna leave the corners on. Most churches don't have corners, but this one will. Let's see who else was involved. Victoria Vale. That was Professor Beauregard's cousin. She was a flapper. Benjamin Willows, the regular, who is still the he was curator of the Miskatonic University Exhibit Museum. And finally, Liam Smith, who's a private investigator, and Leif Johansen, who was a lumberjack. Let's see, how big? I have to make this bigger. I kind of want to make it longer, but I also want to keep it on the hill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the size of the tower. And the church building itself is going to be also 5, so it's going to be a tower and a church. I think you have to do like this, this. Okay. We need to add some windows in the tower, though. Forgot. So, in the story, Johansen receives a message. I believe it was through his mother. 1, 2, 3. Telling him that they had received word that a certain relative had died, and they had inherited a house in the nearby town of Innsmouth, Massachusetts. Some of you know where this is already going. So Johansen was in charge of actually investigating this, or as far as like the inheritance was concerned. His mother was not necessarily bedridden, but she was not. My inventory's freaking full. Let me empty my inventory. I'll be right back. And we're back. Thanks for bearing with me on that. So anyway, Johansen had received this message that I'm trying to think how tall I want this church to be. See, I'm getting little lag spikes. I think my computer is finally getting tired of playing Minecraft. Let's be... We're going to do this. I think. No. Got an idea here. Hopefully this will, whoops, look okay. Anyway, Johansson was sent by his family, by his mom, essentially, to investigate this, to figure out, you know, what they were getting, how much cash, well, what the deal was. And it turned out it was a house that was now theirs in Innsmouth. Hooray, Innsmouth. They had not really dealt with anybody from Innsmouth yet. They didn't know what was going on there in that town. And they didn't know how horrible it was going to be. It's a shame. So they drove out to the house. I think they took Willow's Cadillac car. And, there. Okay, so they drove out to the house, and then they came to the realization, and it was a mess. But there's a lot of good stuff there. They were able to get into all the rooms except for one room, the attic. The attic door was locked. It was locked tight. There was no key or anything, and it didn't look like they were going to be able to get into it, which was a shame because they figured there might be something of value up there. So they started trying. So somebody broke down the door. Now, in doing so, unfortunately, they snapped the lock. There was no way to lock the door once again. I think we're going to match that building, and we're going to mix birch and wood in order to do so. And then we'll probably use a mixture of birch and oak, birch and wood. Birch and oak on the other building as well. We got a couple. Let's go ahead and get some stuff. And while I'm crafting, I can talk still. So there was nothing in the attic apparently. It looked like there was some old food. Pretty much that was it. Nothing of real value. So they decided they would try to do their best to kind of look through the house, figure out what was going on. They came out there and they were cleaning and such. Certain people joined them later, because I think this ran more than one game session. And there was a weird smell in the attic. I forgot to mention that. It smelled like fish, like the sea. That night... Oh, wait a minute. Crap, I need some half slabs. Running out of inventory space as usual. Okay, there we go. So that night they, turns out, crumb, I still need some more birch. Alright, we're going to worry about that later. Let's work on the roof. Now in this case we did all the way around the edges with the birch. So we're going to do that here. See where it gets us. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the tower. Oops. Villagers come and complain the next day in Innsmouthers, and these were some of the normal people that lived in Innsmouth, not necessarily other things. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yes. And they're mad. They're really angry because something came out in the night and did some damage to their stuff, basically. We're going to want to do soup. And I think we're going to have an overhang on this one. Hopefully it won't look too awful. I'm going for a slightly different design, although I believe it's the same. It's in the same exact type of area. Oh crap. And we need to put one down there. But at this angle, yeah, we should be able to do that. Yeah. Awesome. Do some of the interiors here. something had killed some of their sheep, or I can't remember what exactly happened, whether or not it was... I really need to start reading these before I start talking about them, don't I? Anyway, it was bad, and the villagers were upset. And these were some of the few normal people that actually lived in the town. And they wanted to see the end of Johansson and all his friends. They wanted them gone because, you know, bad things were happening. They were here, and bad things had happened, and they didn't like it. That for now. Ooh, I'm going to need more of that, too. It turns out there's a monster loose, and they eventually figure out that they probably released it when they opened up the attic, that it had been trapped in there for years and years and years, and the villagers were not happy. Oops. We're not pleased with the fact that... Johansson and his friends had let it loose to ravage the countryside and kill them all, was pretty much their thinking. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need some halves. Oh, wrong one. Johansson, of course, couldn't do anything, so the villagers were angry and they left, all mad and upset, and eventually they ended up slashing Willow's tires at one point because they were... Willow's had his car there and left a note, said get out of town, and Willow's was all mad. He's like, how are we going to get out of town without any tires? Which was a good question. Very good question. But the villagers were panicking. They weren't thinking. I'm not defending them. I'm just explaining why they were acting like imbeciles. I have an idea for floors. That's all I think I'm going to need. Oh gosh, these guys are super happy. They're breeding like crazy. That'll keep working until 1.8 comes to this server, if it does. If these guys don't. The ASU server doesn't also just bail. And... anyway, so, hey guys. I need to light the outside of this church too. And I should have grabbed more things. Sorry, I'm mumbling. Blah, blah, blah. I gotta keep remembering that I'm playing the game. Sometimes I forget. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and do this. Just put a little window there. For now we're gonna do this so that we can fiddle with the roof.